into it. All right, so so check me out. Yeah, look. Welcome to Star Enlightenment channel, right? And we in for another good video, another good live today. No, I'm not gonna try to make it too long. I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat brief. But so the first thing we're gonna talk about is you can tell by the title, we're gonna talk about astral realm levels, right? And different. So we're gonna keep it brief about this one because I'm gonna go further in another video soon. That's already lined up. But when we talk about different levels of the astral realm, you gotta look at it even similar to the dream levels, right? And I'm not saying when you die, you're going to a dream, because it's a different consciousness, it's a different outlook after death versus when you're in a dream. Because when you're in a dream, your mind is still connected to your body, so it's still connected to your current flows. It can't get blood flows, your emotions and feelings. It's still connected to the mind that you know and everything that you built in it. But when you die, you detach from that mind, and you die and go into another mind after that transition period anyway. So clearly there's a difference, right? But look, check it out. We're gonna stay on topic. Astral realm levels, right? So let's say when you have a dream, you may have a dream where it's like you're on Earth, right? You're on Earth, but it's like very heavy. And what I mean by that is it may be very slow. This is where a lot of nightmares come out. It may be very slow, or it may be a dream where like you feel like you run for something, you can't run for something. You can't do what you really want to do. You try to open a door, you have a hard time opening the door. You try to move a certain type of way, you can't move a certain type of way. It seems like it's that this very slow. It's slow vibrating, and this is when you're on Earth, but you're on the closest layer of Earth to where you are, how you're awake now. That means you're on the lowest level of Earth to an extent, because this is where a lot of nightmares happen. This is because you're in a heavy density version of Earth. You see what I'm saying? You're not in a lighter density version of it. And when you went to sleep or whatever state you was in, you was in a heavy mind. Heaviness was on your mind. You had either a lot of thoughts and feelings, or you was emotionally down about something, or in a negative state of being, and so it kind of held you down. And lowered the vibration, made you heavy, made you denser. So you end up being in a low vibration. And this lets you know how low of vibration we are in, just even being in the physical body, for us to even condense to have to be that low to be and get born in the body. But that's another video too. But check it out. It's like that's how you know that you in that state. Now there's things more, those the thoughts and feelings that you emanate in those spaces be more heavy. They're more heavy. It's more impactful because you in a heavy current. You see what I'm saying? The lower you are, the more dense you are, you're in a heavy current. And like I said, it lets you know how heavy of a current we in. Now, there's other versions, there's other densities of Earth too. Um, you may be in one that's a little bit more higher than that, or less dense than that, where it's still in a low space, but it may not be as heavy dense as that. But you could also be in a high dense of Earth too. Not, I said that wrong. You could be in a less dense version of Earth too, on a high vibration of Earth. And this be the time when you having dreams where, okay, you still can see certain things that remind you of Earth, like you still on Earth, but you in a higher density version of Earth. You're not in a heavy current version. You're in a lighter remember reality of Earth. So it's still Earth, but things may be more less dense. Like you may be able to fly. Things may not be as slow vibrating, because if you pay attention to when it's slow vibrating and heavy density, like I was talking about before, it's like less ability you got. You can't do much. But if you're in a higher realm of Earth, a higher reality of Earth, a higher density of version of Earth, these be dreams where you probably, like I said, can fly. Earth may look a little different, but it's still Earth. It may be more brightness to it to an extent. You can fly. Things are more or less dense. Um, the thoughts that you emanate, or the awareness that you have, isn't as heavy. Like you're not thinking about fear as much. You're not thinking about lower things that hold you down, like depression or negative thoughts or heavy currents and feelings. You may be more aware of lighter things. So you may not even have much on your mind at all for you to even be light like that. You see what I'm saying? So it'll play out as being brightness, because it's just your perception that's changing, and the dimensional perspective that you in. When you own that side of Earth, you in a higher density of it. You're not in a heavy current nightmarish dream about it. Not and everything has a positive to negative. Don't get it twisted. But the outlook is different. How it play out is different. It won't be as heavy and dense as a denser, low vibrational version of it. Shout out to John Wick, man. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. So with that being said, like I said, this is not gonna be a long video. I just want to say that. Now when you talk about the actual astral realm, because a lot of people, when you're in a dream state, you go to sleep, you're in the astral realm. But a lot of times, if you're still floating around Earth, whether high or low, you're still on Earth. You didn't fully go off into the actual astral realm. You're only in the side of it that's the earth side of it. So you still down here on earth. You just you like I said, you on the other side of the veil. You behind the veil. You're in that spirit realm, but you're still in earth. You haven't floated off or went off into a whole nother world of existence and a higher dimensional perspective of reality. You still down here. Now like I said, you still are in the astral realm. You still are behind the veil and all that stuff like that, but you're just on the earth side of it. You didn't float off into the higher, a more outer version of it, aka deeper into the astral realm, into another realm of reality or world or whatever. All right, you see what I'm saying? And this is why it's important to expand your imagination too, which I'll tap into that more so in another video. But I just want to say that, and going back into it, when you do have those dreams where you know you're not on Earth, aka nothing look like Earth. These be the dreams a lot of times you don't even remember either, because your mind is so much made of this element, that whatever elements that is in the dream that you was in, that you might not remember, might have been elements that was actually in that fully deep into the astral realm, aka in another world or realm of reality. So you wasn't on Earth. So a lot of times your mind is still your macabre or your mind or your is still attached to your tethering cord to this body. So everything that you logically can analyze that makes sense in this realm of reality, since it's third dimensional, you may not be able to fully perceive everything that's in the higher realm you just went to, or the other world you just went to, because the other world that you just went to may consist of certain elements that you're not familiar with in this space. Like this world deal with certain elements, and that you're made out of too, that even your mind is made out of, that even your mind is made out of, that I be telling people. So you may be when you go to those worlds that's not in this realm reality and world, that world may not have the same elements that this one has. So it'd be hard to make sense out of it when you wake back up. This is why you don't remember it. You see what I'm saying? When you physically wake up with this mind, because your mind can't comprehend, because it's not made up of any elements that it can utilize in this reality to make sense out of it. Since the world you just went to had elements that didn't wasn't made out of this world. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you had those dreams. But once you're in that dream, there's higher and lower versions of it too. But all in totality, you're in a different world. You see what I'm saying? And usually you be in a lighter realm of reality. So there's ups and downs to that realm of reality. But when you're in those worlds, if there is an awareness that you're aware of to an extent to bring back down to tell somebody that you remember it, it'll play out differently, and you'll know the ups and downs in that, but it won't be looking the same as this world. And a lot of times it's a lighter realm of reality. Now you can be in a heavier realm of reality. You could be in a heavier vibration and be in another world too, but you'll know that because of how it play out. Is it a darker reality? Is it a heavier reality? Is it slower reality? More nightmarish? Or if it's a lighter reality? See, that's the thing. You gotta know. It's no good and bad, but you gotta know. Because if you know you're having a dream where you're in a lighter reality and it's more brighter and it's less dense and it's not slow vibrating and heavy current and heavy emotions and thoughts and feelings, then you know you're in a lighter world. So you know to some extent you kind of ascended in that dream. You went to a more outer but a more lighter place. You see what I'm saying? A lighter dream, a lighter realm of reality, a lighter world you went to. And so just not of this world. And if it didn't look nothing like Earth, then you know you in another realm of reality, you're in another world. And you in a lighter another world. But if it's dark and it's dense and it's heavy vibration and it's a lot of negative thoughts and feelings you have and it's heavy current and slow, but it still don't look like Earth. And that means you was in another world that wasn't Earth, but it was just as heavy as Earth, or it was heavy and still vibrating low. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's how that play out and stuff like that. You can always pinpoint the difference, because you can't weigh these things with actual scales to pinpoint, but you can weigh things in the mind using things of the mind. You can only weigh the mind with the mind, like you can only weigh the physical with the physical. You can only weigh the mind with the mind, type stuff like that. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I hope that I didn't want to be too long. I definitely edified enough. I felt like, and that's how that plays out. And there's always yins and yangs to everything. Like I said, you got low Earths, you got the low Earth realm reality. This the realm reality you technically in now. But this is where heavy emotions and feelings and heavy currents is. And if you go to sleep if you go to sleep and you dream about it, these be like your slow dreams, because this is slow moving reality. This is slow dream, and your spirit and mind body is way much more faster. So that's why I play out so slow when you in your dream. This physical body is stagnancy, so it'll play out more normal here in real time. But really, we really all in slow motion to an extent because of how slow this from reality is. We don't even know it. And so when you dream, you more in the spirit in your mind bodies. So things are more rapid and faster. But since you in the lower reality, it plays out you being slow and can't move and all that stuff like that. Because that's how it is. It's actually crazy how low we are. But that's low Earth, and then when you're on high Earth, I told you it's brighter, it's less dense. You probably can fly. You probably have more abilities. Things aren't as heavy. You don't have as much heavy thoughts and feelings on you. You probably don't have much in your mind. In general, you're just experiencing um, and whatnot. It's not as heavy. Um, and then I talked about the other realms to know if you not on Earth, you in another world. But if it's a high, if you in a low dense heavy vibrational world, or if you in a higher reality, a high less dense world, that lets you know where you are on the spectrum. And I told you about sometimes when you in a real either high reality, when you in a high reality, or you in a high frequency, or you in a high vibrational dream, or how I'm gonna say when you in a higher frequency dream, when you in a dream where you know you're not on Earth, but it's vibrating, it's less dense and it's on a high vibration. It's not heavy. You gotta understand. A lot of times it's hard to make sense out of those dreams because you in the world that world you just went to might not share the same elements as the world that you in, aka Earth. So when you in that reality, it'd be hard to make sense out of it because there's no air, earth, water, or fire principles that you can take from as above, so below, and make sense out of it. You see what I'm saying? It's in reality. So you can only see it and you can feel it and have that intuition of knowing what you kind of seen, but you may not be able to fully tell that to somebody else in this reality. So, but with that being said, I think that's everything. Let me check my chart. I'm gonna go and get up out of here. We get about 12 minutes in. Yep. And so, much love to y'all. If you have any questions in the chat, hit me up. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate everybody that was in here. Much love to y'all, man. Y'all take it easy. I will be back eventually. If not today, definitely tomorrow. But we're gonna try to knock these videos out the park and get right and get well. So y'all all stay spiritually protected, stay spiritually well, stay spiritually inclined, and stay spiritually adept, and stay spiritually safe, stay spiritually equipped, all that. And much love to y'all, man. Y'all take it easy. Have a great day and a great night. Peace.